Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Hey y'all, it's me, Elena Grace, and you're listening to another episode of I've Been Thinking. So I am geeked to bring you this episode today. Adam has been dying for me to do a conspiracy theory episode. So here I am. I had a little bit of room to work with this month. And so I wanted to give him a little something, for being so supportive of the podcast. And I think you guys are going to die over this. So funnily enough, Adam's sister, Rachel, actually gave me the idea for this, and she had no idea. She was talking the other day about how someone told her in all seriousness that they thought the coronavirus was a conspiracy. Okay, sounds normal up until they say to cover up for an alien invasion. Y'all, if you think that did not get my little hamster wheel of a brain moving, you are dead wrong. I have been living for this. So I had to look this up, obviously, because this was not a theory that I had heard at all until Rachel said it. And it's not a common theory. There's not a lot on the internet about this. I feel I've heard every other theory about the pandemic, that it's made up by the media, that it's the Democrats trying to win the election in the United States, that it's, whatever. I feel like I've heard every freaking thing else. And honestly, I'm not even going to get into shitting on those because I just can't, undermining the importance of the lives that have been lost to this very real disease is just more than I can handle. So anyway, I thought this theory was kind of psycho at first, and honestly, it probably is to a rational brain, but it kind of makes sense at the same time. And this is not me saying that corona is not real, but I am saying that I could see how it could be used to distract from other things, because that's a very common thing. I don't know if y'all are aware of that, but it's a very common thing for governments to use the media to highlight one thing so as to distract from something else. So let me explain this theory. It's very simple. The idea essentially is that aliens have made contact with the Earth, but people have thought that for like thousands of years, so whatever. But this theory says that governments across the world are using the pandemic to cover up for an increase in visits and UFO sightings, and possibly a quote-unquote invasion, because world leaders don't think that the public can handle aliens being confirmed. Okay, fair. But, like, at this point, it's 2020. Everything else that can happen has. We might as well just friggin' confirm aliens at this point. Like, if the freaking Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot got into a fist fight, it truly would not surprise me. Even though I know that Bigfoot isn't in Scotland. He's in the Pacific Northwest. So I did some digging, right? And like I said, this is not a huge mainstream conspiracy theory at all, obviously, since I hadn't even heard of it, and you probably hadn't either. And I'm pretty up to date on, like, conspiracy theories. I like to keep a hand in that. There are very limited articles about this. Like, very limited. And then half of those are basically like fake tabloid articles. So there's a total of like 2 articles that are even mildly reasonably about this. I looked on Reddit and I couldn't even find anything about this. Maybe I still don't know how to work Reddit very well. I mean, what kind of millennial am I? I don't know how to work Twitter anymore. I quit Twitter my sophomore year of college. When was that? Like 2015, I guess. I quit Twitter and I don't know how to use it anymore. I've never known how to friggin' use Reddit. Like, I can't. But anyway, I even dug through Reddit and couldn't find anything about this. But with a little perseverance in Google, I did an okay job at finding an article or 2 to pull from to talk to you all about this, okay? So back at the end of April, the Washington Post aired an opinion piece by one of their editorial writers on the newly released UFO videos. Because if we remember, back in the spring, the Pentagon released some UFO footage that the Air Force had captured, right? She said, or she entitled the piece actually, quote, "These UFO videos come at the perfect time." Well, dang if she wasn't right about that, because everybody honestly really was like pretty focused on the pandemic, and also everybody just kind of took it as a joke, like nobody freaked out about it. But she wrote that because of the uncertainty of the coronavirus, as in like who it will infect, who it will kill, how long it will be around, etc., that is the worst kind of uncertainty, right? We don't know enough about it to give ourselves any reprieve, but we know too much at this point for it to be a, quote, thrilling mystery. Not that I think a deadly virus can ever be a thrilling mystery. That doesn't give me shivery Sherlock Holmes vibes, but anyway. So the aliens, she argues, would be a welcome distraction from the virus, right? Well, that's rather where we and Big Brother disagree. So these videos in question are footage from the U.S. Navy, not the Air Force, sorry, of 3, I think there are Air Force videos too. I just want to clarify. Anyway, so... But these videos specifically that they released back in the spring are 3 U.S. Navy, beating it into my own brain, recorded sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena, which is what they like to call UFOs. And they had not shared these previously because they were deemed threats to national security. Very intriguing. So the Department of Defense said that it finally released the videos to dispel misconceptions by the public on whether or not the footage, which had been circulating unofficially for a while amongst like UFO circles, was real. I'm not laughing at the fact that there are UFO circles. I'm just laughing at how ridiculous it sounds. Oh, Lord. So, I am a believer, by the way. I 100% believe in UFOs. I believe in Bigfoot. I believe in friggin' all of it. So, don't say anything to me. It's just funny. Anyway, so the Department of Defense wanted to dispel misconceptions that this footage was not real, because they were like, y'all, it's real. And then they also wanted to dispel rumors that there was more to the footage, that like had been redacted or whatever. So they released the videos. Now, I will say that that's not to say that they didn't redact things from the videos and then release it. That's kind of stupid if you think about it. They could easily edit that. Whatever. So, but that's all they can say on that, they say, the Department of Defense. Now, the conspiracy theorists believe that our governments, and by that I largely mean the United States and the United Kingdom, okay? So the UK, full of UFO believers. They love an alien in Great Britain. I love that. Anyway, so the conspiracy theorists believe that our governments are keeping this from us because it's more than just visits. Some even suggest that an alien invasion is underway, like I said earlier, and that the governments have known for years about the existence of aliens. Now, that part that governments have always known, like, that's not a niche conspiracy at all. Like, I think that most alien believers think that the government knows and just isn't telling us, like, not confirming to us. And, like, even Bill Clinton joked about it during his presidency, because he was like, well, if the U.S. knows, I don't have clearance to know about it. Like, that's the first thing I'd wonder. But also, like, it's Bill. He would probably accidentally tell somebody, you know, so they probably just didn't tell him. Anyway, so the former Chief of Defense in the UK, Admiral Lord Hill Norton, he once said, and like, this lends some propriety to the overall idea, okay? So he once said, quote, governments fear that if they did disclose the facts, people would panic. And that is the basis of this conspiracy, that the governments are not informing us of an invasion because they fear mass panic. And like, that's not out of the question. Everybody went psycho and hoarded freaking toilet paper because of the coronavirus pandemic. Imagine if aliens were just freaking confirmed all of a sudden. There probably would be some massive panic, honestly. I do think that a lot of people would be decently chill, like, wow, they finally said it, righteous. But if they were like, yeah, we're undergoing an invasion, can you imagine? Like, what do you think you would do? I don't know what I would do. I'd freak out. Be like, don't take my puppy. I'm going to my parents. So, I want to reiterate the fact that back in the spring, okay, the Pentagon released a bunch of UFO footage to the public. So is this that outlandish of a theory? Like, was that release of footage a test to see if, like, we could handle it? Maybe they were like, okay, we're going into a global pandemic and also aliens are starting to visit us more and more and more, and maybe we're going to have to confirm them soon. Let's see how they handle the pandemic, and that will determine what we do about the aliens, and we like failed the test because we have all acted so freaking awful during the pandemic. Like, the government is like, okay, they're all self-righteous, entitled toddlers. Yeah, anyway, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we failed the test. Maybe not. Maybe there was no test. Maybe, I don't know. But what I do know is that there has been an uptick in UFO sightings. Adam's brother-in-law, he thought he might have saw one. One time I thought I saw a UFO, but it turns out it was just the moon behind a cloud. That's one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to me. I was really excited. And I called my parents, and they were like tripping out. Because my parents actually raised me believing in aliens very much. And my mom's like, what's the word, philosophy on it is that with a God as all-powerful as like the one that we believe in, it would be incredibly selfish to assume that we were the only beings that he created, right? So I think it's a completely normal thing to believe in aliens. I don't think it's outlandish in the least. But I called my parents and I was like, I just saw a UFO, blah, 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 blah. I'm freaking out. And I'm sitting in my car, like exactly where I had just seen it, because I had pulled it in outside of my house and parked. And I'm talking to them and they're like, okay, blah, 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 what did it look like? Yeah, all this stuff. And I was like, guys, wait. And they're like, what? Did it come back? And I'm like, yeah, it was the moon. Because it was behind a cloud and I didn't realize that the moon was where it was in the sky. Oh, it was a whole thing. Oh, they were so annoyed with me. Anyway, so what do you all think? Do you think that we are being visited by aliens more right now? Do you think that maybe the pandemic was used to cover up the increase in aliens? And do you think that we're going to find out soon if aliens are real? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe that's going to be 2021. 2020 was global pandemic, 2021 is aliens. I don't know. I don't want that to, I don't want an invasion, I'll tell you that. But anyway. All right, guys. This has been a lot of fun. I really hope that you have enjoyed listening to this. I hope it makes you question a little bit. We should always be questioning. Make sure that you subscribe to the Patreon for early access to episodes every week at just the $5 range. $5 bucks, ducks. At the $5 price point, you get early episodes every week, and then you also sometimes do get extra content, which is a lot of fun. And then as you go up in the memberships, then you get more and more. And make sure that you follow us on Instagram at I've Been Thinking Pod to let us know what you thought. Check out the website, I'veBeenThinkingPod.com. I love it. I am so obsessed with our website still. And in the blog post about today's episode, there will be like the show notes and the links to what I have found. Make sure that you subscribe to us wherever you listen. And if you use Apple Podcasts, definitely go in there, give us those 5 stars, give us an incredible review, please. I would be so grateful. And also, if each of you could just send this episode to a friend or a family member or whatever episode. Send your favorite episode to somebody. Recommend us to one person. That would be so helpful in growing and getting this community to be what I want it to be, because I just want to bring so many people together to think critically, to have fun, to grow, and to be able to talk to each other. And I'm just so excited for what we can become. All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. I am so grateful for you always. I will talk at you next week. Bye.
Hello, you sentient ball of stardust. My name is Casey Davis. I'm a therapist, and I'm an author of the book How to Keep House While Drowning, where I talk about ways to make it a little bit easier to take care of yourself when you're overwhelmed, stressed, have mental health issues, physical health issues, or maybe you're just in a hard season of life. Maybe you're looking for a place that you can come and listen to some practical advice. This is a podcast for all of the self-help rejects. We're going to talk about skills for survival and self-kindness. And I'm going to leave the pop psychology at the door. I promise not to tell you to meditate or to journal. We're just going to give you some really insightful conversations with hopefully some practical advice. So I don't believe you need to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I don't want you to just try harder, and I don't believe that laziness exists. So join me over on Struggle Care, where we can find compassionate solutions that help us function a little bit better.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.